A woman feels attraction when your words create tension, not when they beg for approval. Listen, folks, most men kill attraction before it even has a chance to breathe. Not because they are unattractive, not because they lack money, status, or perfect lines. They lose her attention because the moment they feel desire, they start performing. They talk too fast, they compliment too early, they explain too much, they laugh when nothing is funny, they answer every question like they are being tested, and instead of making her curious, they make her feel one thing clearly: this man wants my approval. My friend, that is where the power leaves you. Attraction is not created by noise, it is created by emotional weight. One calm phrase can make her pause, one sharp observation can make her feel seen, one quiet moment can create more tension than 5 minutes of nervous flirting. A strong man does not try to impress every woman in the room. He speaks with control. He notices what other men miss. He lets silence work. He does not chase the spark. He creates the conditions for it. In this video, you will learn how to use simple phrases, pauses, curiosity, and stoic calm to make a woman lean in wonder about you and remember how you made her feel after the conversation ends. Stay with me because the first lesson will show you why most men are forgotten while a man with presence stays in her mind. Let's get into it. Number 1. Make her think twice. Let's be real, folks. Most men are forgotten because they say exactly what every other man says. They meet a woman, feel desire, and immediately start trying to prove themselves. They compliment her looks. They ask predictable questions. They rush to show interest. And before the conversation has any weight, she already knows where it is going. That is the problem. Predictability kills curiosity. The first phrase from the outline is simple but powerful when used with control. You look at her not like a hungry man trying to impress her, but like a calm man who notices details. Then you say, "You remind me of someone," and then you pause. Do not rush to explain. Do not grin like you are running a trick. Do not stare at her like you are waiting for a reaction. Just let the sentence land. That small, unfinished thought opens a loop in her mind. She starts wondering, who do I remind him of? What did he notice? Is that good or bad? Now she is participating emotionally. She is no longer just receiving your attention. She is curious about your perception. Take Michael, 48, from Austin. He met Rachel, 43, at a wine bar after a work event. Rachel was attractive, confident, and clearly used to men complimenting her appearance. One man told her she had beautiful eyes. Another told her she looked amazing in that dress. Nice words, but predictable. Michael did not compete with them. While Rachel was telling a story about helping her sister move across town, he smiled and said, "You remind me of someone." Then he took a sip of water and let the moment breathe. Rachel leaned in and asked, "Who?" That was the opening. Michael did not say, "My ex." He did not make it weird. He said, "Someone who acts tough but pays attention to everyone in the room." That is when the energy shifted. Why? Because he did not compliment her surface. He noticed her character. He made her feel seen in a way that other men missed. My friend, this is not about memorizing a line. It is about learning how attraction works. A woman may enjoy being called beautiful, but beauty is the most obvious thing in the room. If she is attractive, she has heard it for years. What she rarely hears is a man naming something deeper with calm certainty. That is why this phrase works. It creates curiosity first, then recognition. Curiosity pulls her attention toward you. Recognition makes her feel understood. And when those two things happen together, the conversation gains tension. But listen carefully. Delivery matters more than the words. If you say it with need, it feels fake. If you say it too dramatically, it feels like a tactic. If you explain too fast, you destroy the tension. A strong man lets the moment breathe because he is not afraid of silence. He does not rush to fill every space. He knows that mystery is not created by lying. It is created by restraint. Stoicism teaches self-command. In conversation, self-command means you do not let desire push you into performance. You stay grounded. You observe. You speak with intention. You let her wonder without trying to control her reaction. So the next time you are talking to a woman, do not fight for attention. Create a small question in her mind. Notice something real. Say less than you want to say. Let her come closer to the answer. If you understand this, write it below. I create curiosity. Stay with me because the next part shows how calm desire makes your words carry more weight. Number 2. Speak with sexual calm. Let me say this plainly, folks. Sexual calm is not acting cold. It is not pretending you do not want her. It is the ability to feel desire without letting desire take over your mouth, your posture, and your decisions. A woman can sense the difference between a man who is attracted to her and a man who is controlled by that attraction. Most men lose their edge because they speak from hunger. Their compliments come too fast. Their jokes try too hard. Their questions feel like hidden requests for approval. They say the right words, but the energy underneath says, "Please like me." And once that energy shows up, the tension weakens. A calm man does something different. He slows down. He lets the conversation breathe. He does not rush to fill every silence. He does not throw desire at her like a man trying to buy a reaction. He allows interest to be felt, not begged for. His voice is steady. His eyes are present. His words are simple, but they land with weight. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That applies directly to attraction. A man who cannot master his desire becomes a servant to every beautiful woman who gives him attention. He may call it chemistry. He may call it passion. But if one smile can make him abandon his center, he is not leading the moment. He is being led by it. This is why sexual calm matters. It creates safety and tension at the same time. Safety because she feels you are not desperate. Tension because she feels there is desire underneath your restraint. That balance is powerful. Too much eagerness makes a woman feel crowded. Too much coldness makes her feel nothing. But calm desire creates curiosity. She feels, he notices me, but he is not losing himself over me. That is the energy behind the phrases in the outline. When you say something like, "You remind me of someone," or when you give a deeper compliment, the words only work if your delivery is controlled. If your voice shakes with need, the phrase becomes a line. If your body leans in too hard, it becomes pressure. If you look at her like you are waiting to be rewarded, she feels the weakness behind the words. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." In conversation, that means you do not control whether she likes you. You do not control whether she responds the way you want. You control the quality of your presence. You control your pace. You control whether you speak from confidence or from craving. So before you try to create attraction, govern yourself. Breathe. Relax your shoulders. Stop treating the conversation like an audition. Do not rush the compliment. Do not over-explain the joke. Do not chase the laugh. Let your words come from a man who already has his own approval. My friend, this is where attraction becomes mature. You can want her without worshipping her. You can flirt without performing. You can create tension without acting like a boy who needs proof that he is desired. That is sexual calm. Desire with discipline. Interest without desperation. Presence without pressure. When a man speaks this way, he becomes rare. Not because he has perfect lines, but because he is not begging with his energy. He lets the woman feel his attention, but also feel that his attention has standards. That is when words start to carry heat. If this is the energy you are building, write it below. I speak calmly. Keep watching because the next part shows how the right compliment can touch what other men never notice. Number 3. Compliment her hidden fire. Let's be honest, folks. A beautiful woman has heard beautiful before. She has heard it from strangers, co-workers, men at bars, men online, and men who wanted something from her before they even knew anything about her. So when you walk in with the same obvious compliment, you are not creating attraction, you are joining the noise. A strong man does not flatter the surface first. He notices the fire underneath. He pays attention to the way she thinks, the way she listens, the way she handles pressure, the way she moves through a room without asking for permission. That is where the hidden compliment lives. It is not about saying, "You look amazing." It is about saying something she did not expect you to notice. Think about Daniel, 46, from San Diego. He met Claire, 42, at a rooftop birthday dinner with mutual friends. Claire was attractive, no question. She had the kind of presence that made men glance twice. One man told her she looked incredible. Another complimented her dress. She smiled, but nothing changed. She had heard those lines before. Daniel waited. He did not compete. He watched how Claire handled the table. When a quieter woman tried to speak and got interrupted, Claire circled back and said, "Wait, I want to hear what you were saying." Later, when Daniel had a moment with her, he said, "You know what I noticed? You make people feel included without making a show of it." That landed differently. Claire paused. Not because the sentence was flashy, but because it reached past her appearance and touched something real. He had seen her character. He had named a quality she probably valued in herself. That kind of compliment creates warmth because it feels earned. It also creates respect because a woman can tell when a man is not just consuming her beauty, but reading her energy with control and intention. My friend, this is the psychology most men miss. Generic praise asks for a reaction. Observational praise creates recognition. When you compliment only her beauty, you may excite her ego for a second. When you compliment a hidden quality, you reach her identity. And identity is where real attraction starts to deepen. But do not overdo it. A hidden compliment should be clean, calm, and specific. Say it once then. Let the conversation continue. Do not stare at her waiting for gratitude. Do not explain why you are different from other men. Do not turn the compliment into a speech. A man with presence gives the observation and moves on because he is not trying to be rewarded for noticing. Here are the kinds of things that work. You have a calm way of making people comfortable. You are sharper than you let on. You act playful, but you notice everything. There is more discipline in you than people probably see. These are not lines to memorize. They are examples of how a man speaks when he is actually paying attention. And yes, this creates tension, not cheap tension, deeper tension. The kind that makes her wonder what else you see. The kind that makes her feel feminine without feeling reduced to her body. The kind that tells her you are attracted but not blinded. So the next time you want to compliment a woman, slow down. Look past the obvious. Find the hidden fire. Name it calmly. Then let silence do the rest. That is how a man separates himself from the crowd without begging for attention. If you see the difference, write it below. I notice deeper. Stay with me because the next part shows how silence can tease more powerfully than any forced line. Number 4. Use silence to tease. Let me be clear, folks. Silence can create more tension than any clever line, but only when it comes from control. If you stay quiet because you are nervous, she will feel uncertainty. If you stay quiet because you are trying to look mysterious, she will feel the act. But when a man is calm enough to pause, smile, and let the moment breathe, his silence becomes magnetic. Most men are terrified of silence with a woman they desire. The second the conversation slows down, they rush to fill the space. They ask another question. They make another joke. They explain something that did not need explaining. They keep talking because deep down they fear that if the room gets quiet, she will lose interest. But here is the truth, my friend. Silence does not kill attraction. Neediness does. A controlled pause can make her feel the space between you. It gives her time to wonder what you are thinking. It lets the compliment land. It lets curiosity grow. It tells her you are not trying to entertain her like a man begging for approval. You are comfortable in your own body, your own rhythm, your own presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be silent, or let your words be worth more than silence." That line carries real weight in attraction. A man does not need to pour out words to prove he has value. Sometimes the most powerful thing he can do is say one clear sentence, then stop. Not to manipulate, not to play childish games, but because he understands that restraint gives words power. Think about the phrase from the outline, "You remind me of someone." The phrase works because it is unfinished, but if you explain it too quickly, you kill the tension. If you say, "You remind me of someone, and here is exactly why," before she even asks you, remove the mystery. But if you say it calmly, pause, and let her curiosity move toward you, the moment becomes alive. That is teasing through silence. Not teasing like mockery, not teasing like arrogance, teasing as controlled incompletion. You give enough to spark her mind, but not so much that there is nothing left for her to discover. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In conversation with a woman, this is not just wisdom, it is attraction. When you listen, pause, and respond with intention, she feels that you are present. She feels that you are not just waiting for your turn to impress her. You are reading the room. You are reading her energy. You are choosing your words instead of dumping them out. And if this kind of masculine communication speaks to you, consider joining the channel as a member. Inside the membership, we go deeper into Stoic confidence, emotional control, attraction discipline, and how to carry yourself like a man who does not need to perform for attention. Now listen carefully. Silence only works when your life has substance behind it. A boring man who says nothing is just boring. A grounded man who says little creates curiosity because she can feel there is more underneath. That is the difference. Your silence must come from depth, not emptiness. So the next time you feel the urge to fill every quiet moment, do not rush. Let the pause sit. Let her feel your calm. Let your eyes stay steady. Let your words be few but chosen. A woman does not need endless talking to feel attraction. Sometimes she needs space to feel the pull. If you understand this, write it below. I use silence. Stay tuned, because the next part shows why revealing less can make her want to discover more. Number 5. Reveal less, pull more. Let's be honest, folks. The man who tells everything too soon leaves nothing for a woman to discover. He may think he is being open. He may think he is building trust. But when he pours out his whole story in the first few conversations, he removes the one thing that keeps attraction, breathing curiosity. A strong man does not hide who he is. He simply does not hand over every piece of himself before a woman has earned the depth. That is the difference. Mystery is not lying. Mystery is pacing. It is knowing that every part of your life, your history, your pain, your ambition, and your desire does not need to be explained the moment she shows interest. Think about Richard, 54, from Atlanta. He met Vanessa, 48, at a small art gallery opening. She asked him what he liked to do outside of work. The old Richard would have given a long answer. He would have talked about his divorce, his job, his weekends, his workout routine, his favorite restaurants, and why he was trying to date again. Not because she asked for all of that, but because he wanted to prove he was a good man. This time he did something different. He smiled and said, "I take long walks early in the morning before the city gets loud. It keeps me sharp." Then he stopped. Vanessa tilted her head and asked, "Alone," Richard said, "most of the time. That is where I think clearly." Nothing dramatic, nothing fake, but now she had a glimpse into him. Not the whole book, just one page that made her want to keep reading. That is how selective honesty works. You reveal something real, but not everything. You let her feel that you have a private world, a routine, a mind, a life that existed before her attention and will continue without it. That kind of man creates pull, because he is not empty space waiting to be filled by a woman's approval. My friend, many men talk too much because silence makes them feel exposed. They think if they explain more, she will trust them faster. But attraction is not built by flooding her with information. It is built by giving her enough truth to feel your depth and enough space to wonder what else is there. This is where masculine restraint matters. When she asks about your past, you do not need to turn the conversation into a confession. When she asks what you are passionate about, you do not need to sell yourself like a resume. When she asks why you are single, you do not need to defend your entire history. Answer with calm honesty, then let the moment breathe. For example, instead of saying, "My last relationship failed because she did not appreciate me and I have been through a lot," you can say, "I learned a lot from my last relationship. Mostly that peace matters more than appearance." That answer has weight. It shows maturity. It does not beg for sympathy. It gives her something to feel without dragging her into emotional wreckage. Women are drawn to men who have layers, not men who play games, but men who are not desperate to be fully consumed in one sitting. Reveal less and you give her room to lean in. Reveal with intention and your words start to carry texture. Reveal from calm and she feels that you are not trying to impress her. You are simply letting her see enough to become curious. So do not be a locked door, but do not be an open window either. Be a man with depth, rhythm, and self-respect. Give her truth in measured doses. Let your life speak in pieces. Let her discover you slowly, because what is discovered slowly is often valued more deeply. If this makes sense, write it below. I reveal wisely. Stick with me, because the next part shows how a simple question can turn curiosity into chemistry. Number 6. Make her chase answers. Let's get something straight, folks. A woman does not become more interested because you answer everything like a man being interviewed for permission. She becomes more interested when the conversation makes her participate, when she has to lean in, guess a little, read your energy, and wonder what is behind your calm. This is where the playful question reversal from the outline becomes powerful. She asks, "So what kind of man are you?" Most men rush to explain. They start selling themselves. "I'm loyal, hardworking, honest, family-oriented, ambitious." Nothing wrong with those things, my friend, but when you list your qualities like a resume, you remove tension, you turn attraction into information. A stronger move is simple. Smile slightly and say, "What do you think?" Then hold the pause, not in a cocky way, not like you are dodging the question, like a man who is comfortable letting her read the room. Now she is not just listening, she is investing. She has to look at you, measure your presence, and reveal what she already feels. Epictetus said, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." That is the lesson here. Do not throw words around just because silence makes you uncomfortable. Know the meaning of your answer before you give it. Sometimes the most powerful answer is a question that makes her step into the conversation with you. When you ask, "What do you think?" you create a small challenge. You invite her to describe your energy. Maybe she says, "You seem quiet but intense." Maybe she says, "You seem like you notice more than you say." Maybe she laughs and says, "I'm not sure yet." Good. Now the conversation has movement. Now there is chemistry, because she is not being fed every answer. She is discovering you. But listen carefully. This only works when you are grounded. If you ask it too often, you become annoying. If you use it to avoid honesty, you become slippery. If you say it with arrogance, you kill the warmth. The point is not to make her work for every sentence. The point is to stop giving away your entire identity before the moment has earned it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In attraction, this means stop explaining your value like a man begging to be believed. Let your behavior carry proof. Let your pace, your posture, your humor, and your restraint speak before your biography does. A woman feels the difference between a man who is hiding and a man who has depth. Hiding feels defensive. Depth feels calm. Hiding says, "I do not want you to know me." Depth says, "There is more here, but you will discover it through presence, not pressure." That is the energy you want. So when she asks something personal, do not always rush. Sometimes answer directly, sometimes answer lightly, sometimes turn it back with a controlled question. "What do you think? What gave you that impression? Why do you ask? These are not tricks, they are doors. They let her enter the conversation instead of standing outside while you perform. My friend, attraction grows when she feels involved in discovering you. Do not hand her every answer. Let her chase a few. Let her wonder. Let her feel that your confidence does not need to explain itself every 30 seconds. That quiet restraint tells her you are present but not needy, interested but not conquered, open but still anchored fully in your own frame. If you understand this, write it below. I invite curiosity. Let's keep going, because the next part shows how a man leads the emotional rhythm without controlling the woman. Number 7. Lead her emotional pulse. Let's be real, folks. A man who cannot lead his own emotions cannot lead the emotional pulse of a conversation. He may have good intentions, he may be attractive, successful, and well-dressed. But if his energy gets pulled around by every smile, every pause, every glance, and every moment of silence, the woman will feel that he is reacting to her instead of standing in himself. Emotional leadership is not control. It is not dominating the conversation. It is not talking over her, correcting her, or trying to force attraction. Emotional leadership is the quiet ability to guide the mood without needing approval for every move you make. It is when your calm becomes the rhythm she can relax into. Take Thomas, 53, from Seattle. He met Natalie, 47, at a private dinner hosted by a friend. Natalie was confident, direct, and used to men either trying too hard or becoming stiff around her. When Thomas sat beside her, he did not rush to impress her. He asked simple questions, listened fully, and let silence sit when it needed to sit. When she teased him, he smiled instead of defending himself. When she gave a sharp answer, he did not shrink or push back. He stayed warm, steady, and present. At one point, Natalie asked, "Are you always this calm?" Thomas looked at her and said, "Only when the company is interesting." Then he let the moment breathe. No nervous laugh, no extra explanation, just a small statement with control. Natalie smiled because she felt the difference. He was not chasing the moment, he was holding it. My friend, that is emotional pulse. It is not what you say alone, it is how your energy makes the room feel. A woman may forget your exact words, but she will remember whether you made her feel rushed or relaxed, pressured or curious, bored or alive. Most men focus on the line. Strong men focus on the atmosphere. This is where the phrases from the outline become stronger. You remind me of someone works better when your energy is calm. A hidden compliment lands harder when you are not begging for a reaction. A playful question like, "What do you think creates more chemistry?" when you can hold the silence afterward. The phrase is the spark, but your emotional control is the oxygen. If you speak too fast, you create pressure. If you agree with everything, you create weakness. If you challenge everything, you create resistance. But if you can move between warmth, playfulness, curiosity, and stillness, you create a rhythm she can feel. That rhythm creates attraction because it feels masculine without being aggressive. So learn to read the room. If she opens up, slow down and listen. If she gets playful, meet her with a calm edge. If the conversation becomes too serious, bring in lightness. If she tests you with a little sarcasm, do not collapse. Smile, hold your frame, and respond from steadiness. A woman does not want a man who is emotionally flat. She wants a man who has depth but control, desire but restraint, humor but backbone. That is the pulse you lead, not by performing, but by staying anchored while the moment moves. When you can do that, the conversation stops feeling like an interview. It becomes an experience. She is no longer just hearing you. She is feeling your presence, your timing, your restraint, and your ability to make the space between you feel charged without making it uncomfortable. If this is the man you are becoming, write it below. I lead energy. Stay close, because the next part shows why performing for approval kills attraction faster than silence ever could. Number 8. Stop begging for chemistry. Let me say this clearly, folks. Chemistry cannot be begged into existence. You cannot force it by talking more, complimenting harder, laughing louder, or trying to turn every quiet moment into proof that something is happening between you. The harder a man tries to manufacture chemistry, the more he exposes the one thing that kills its need. Most men do this without realizing it. The conversation slows down, and they panic. She gives a short answer, and they start performing. She does not laugh the way they expected, and suddenly they reach for another joke, another compliment, another story, another reason to prove they are interesting. But attraction does not grow under pressure. It grows in space. Epictetus said, "Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly." In attraction, that means you stop trying to control the outcome of every interaction. You stop forcing the moment to become romantic, exciting, or seductive on your schedule. You learn to be present with what is actually happening, not with the fantasy you are trying to create. My friend, this is where Stoic calm becomes powerful. A man with presence does not need every woman to respond perfectly. He does not collapse when the energy shifts. He does not chase chemistry like a hungry man chasing a meal. He observes, he listens, he adjusts. And if the spark is there, he lets it grow naturally. If it is not there, he does not humiliate himself trying to drag it out of her. Chemistry has to breathe. If you crowd it, it dies. If you over-explain yourself, it becomes heavy. If you keep checking whether she likes you, she feels your insecurity before she feels your masculinity. A woman may not consciously name it, but she can sense when a man is trying to pull a reaction out of her. That energy feels tense. It feels needy. It feels like he is asking her to carry his confidence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your thoughts are dyed with desperation, your words will carry desperation. If your mind is obsessed with winning her approval, your voice will betray it. But if your thoughts are grounded in self-respect, your words will come out cleaner, slower, and stronger." That is why the phrases in this video only work when they come from a centered man. "You remind me of someone" works because it sparks curiosity, not because it tricks her. A hidden compliment works because it shows perception, not because it begs for reward. What do you think works? Because it invites her into the conversation, not because it manipulates her into chasing you. So stop begging for chemistry. Stop trying to make every woman feel something. Your job is not to create attraction out of nothing. Your job is to bring presence, calm, desire, sharp observation, and enough restraint to let the truth reveal itself. If there is real chemistry, your calm will deepen it. If there is not, your calm will protect you from performing for someone who is not aligned with you. A strong man does not chase the spark. He carries the fire. He does not need to prove heat in every sentence. He lets his tone, timing, silence, humor, and standards do the work. That is how attraction becomes mature. Less pressure, more presence. Less performance, more pull. If you are done forcing the moment, write this below. I stay present. Stay with me, because the next part shows why true presence makes a man impossible to forget. Number 9. Make your presence felt. Let's be real, folks. A woman does not remember the man who talked the most. She remembers the man whose presence changed the temperature of the room. That is the difference between being heard and being felt. Any man can speak. Any man can compliment. Any man can ask questions. But presence is deeper. Presence is what she feels when your words, silence, posture, timing, and attention all come from the same grounded place. Most men think presence means being loud, charming, or constantly entertaining. That is not presence. That is performance. Presence is quieter than that. It is the calm weight a man carries when he is not trying to prove he belongs. He listens without looking bored. He speaks without rushing. He holds eye contact without trying to dominate. He lets a pause exist without panicking. He makes the woman feel that he is fully there, not half in the conversation and half inside his insecurity. Think about Leonard, 56, from Boston. He met Monica, 50, at a jazz lounge downtown. Monica was elegant, sharp, and used to men trying to impress her with stories about money, travel, or past success. Leonard did not compete. He asked her about the music, listened to her answer, and noticed how her face changed when she talked about playing piano as a girl. Later he said, "You still miss that part of yourself, don't you?" Monica went quiet for a second. The kind of quiet that happens when someone has been seen. That is presence. Leonard did not use a flashy line. He did not flatter her body. He did not try to create chemistry by force. He paid attention. He noticed the emotional thread beneath her words. Monica remembered him because he made the conversation feel personal without making it heavy. My friend, this is what the outline means when it talks about emotional leadership and thoughtful speech. A man with presence does not throw words around. He chooses them. He does not compliment what every man can see. He names what most men miss. He does not answer like he is being tested. He speaks like a man standing in his own approval. And yes, presence has sexual charge, not because it is explicit, not because it pushes, but because a grounded man creates safety and tension at the same time. She feels that he is attracted but not needy, interested but not desperate, warm but not easy to control. That combination creates pull because it gives her room to feel feminine without feeling hunted. So how do you make your presence felt? Slow down. Stop scanning the room for validation. Stop planning your next sentence while she is still speaking. Listen for what is underneath her words. Notice the detail. Use the pause. Let your compliment be specific. Let your questions invite her deeper. Let your silence show that you are comfortable enough not to perform. A woman remembers how she felt around you. Did she feel rushed, judged, pressured, and consumed? Or did she feel seen, teased, curious, and alive? That is what separates a forgettable conversation from one she replays later. Presence is not about taking space by force. It is about filling the space with calm, masculine attention. When your presence is real, you do not need to chase the moment. The moment starts responding to you. Your words become fewer but heavier. Your silence becomes comfortable but charged. Your attention becomes something she notices because it is not scattered everywhere. That is how a man becomes memorable without begging to be remembered. If you want your presence to carry weight, write this below: I am present. Don't go anywhere, because the final part shows how to leave desire unfinished so she keeps thinking about you after the conversation ends. Number 10. Leave desire unfinished. Here is the part most men never learn, folks. Attraction is not strengthened by giving everything away. It is strengthened by leaving the right thing unfinished. Not unfinished in a manipulative way. Not by being fake, cold, or unavailable for sport. I am talking about the kind of restraint that makes a woman feel there is still more to discover after the conversation ends. Most men try to close the loop too fast. If the talk is going well, they keep pushing. If she smiles, they chase another laugh. If she opens up, they start revealing too much. If the chemistry is there, they try to lock it down immediately. They do not let the tension breathe. They become afraid that if they do not take everything right now, the moment will disappear. But desire does not work like that. Desire often grows in the space after the moment. It grows when she walks away thinking, there was something different about him. It grows when she remembers your calm voice, your sharp observation, the pause you held, the compliment that touched something deeper, and the way you did not beg for more of her attention. This is what the outline is really pointing toward. The phrase, the hidden compliment, the playful question, the silence, the emotional leadership, all of it leads to this. Do not create a powerful moment and then smother it. Let it echo. A strong man knows how to end a conversation before it becomes needy. He knows how to leave while the energy is still alive. He can say, I like talking with you, and mean it without turning it into a performance. He can give her a small smile, hold the pause, and step back into his own life. That is not weakness. That is control. My friend, this is Stoicism inside attraction. You enjoy the moment without clinging to it. You feel desire without becoming desperate. You allow connection without trying to own the outcome. That kind of man is rare because he does not treat every spark like a door he must force open. Leaving desire unfinished also means you do not over-explain yourself after the conversation. You do not send 3 messages trying to keep the feeling alive. You do not replay every line and punish yourself for what you should have said. You let your presence do the work. You trust that if the interaction had weight, she felt it. And if she did not, you remain steady anyway. That is the masculine edge. You are not using these phrases to trap a woman's mind. You are using them to express presence, perception, and self-command. The right woman will feel that. The wrong woman may not. Either way, you do not lose yourself. This is also what separates a mature man from a man chasing validation. The mature man does not need immediate proof. He can leave the room without needing to know whether she is impressed, attracted, or thinking about him. His confidence is not waiting for applause. So learn the art of leaving a little space. Give her curiosity, not confusion. Give her warmth, not need. Give her a glimpse, not your whole life story. Let her wonder what else is underneath your calm. Let her feel that your attention is real but not endless. Let her understand that your desire exists, but your discipline leads it. That is how a man stays in her mind after he leaves. Not by chasing, not by performing, not by flooding her with words. He leaves a clean impression. He leaves emotional weight. He leaves a question she wants to answer later. If this is the standard you are choosing, write this below: I leave mystery. Folks, today you learned that attraction is not about talking more, trying harder, or begging for chemistry. It is about presence, curiosity, calm desire, sharp observation, the right pause, the right compliment, the kind of masculine restraint that makes a woman feel something without feeling pressured. When a man speaks with control, notices what others miss, leads the emotional rhythm, and leaves desire unfinished, he becomes harder to forget. If you want to go deeper into Stoic confidence, attraction, emotional control, and masculine communication, consider joining the channel as a member. That is where we build these lessons at a deeper level. And if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe now. This channel is for men who are done performing and ready to move with calm power and purpose. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow.